going on, Jerome's? So I did a video last night about Zimmer getting the Cowboys DC job, and I'd forgotten that my kid, who just had his first birthday, had spit up a little bit on the old Michigan State sleeveless hoodie shirt, is what it is. But we're back. War damn Eagle. Woo. That's right. Another beautiful Friday Vikings news up. Now, this one's going to be taken up by NFL honors for the most part, so let's dive on in. So Harrison Phillips, who was the Vikings Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, representing Harrison's playmaker. So he had names of his kids stitched into the liner of his jacket. Now, it's a beautiful suit. That is the most purple piece of clothing that has ever purpled in the history of purple. I mean, that is deep purple. And I'm not going to start humming a Cream song, but you know what I mean. Also, Kirk Cousins stole the show. I mean, Kirk at NFL honors, I feel like that is his Super Bowl. All right, so Kirk was presenting with Cameron, Jordan, and then Genuine's Pony came on, and a whole song and dance routine came about. And my first thought was, that Achilles looks pretty effing good. So you're telling me that you couldn't suit up against the Bengals and like the first Lions game, bro? That guy. But obviously, Kirk wouldn't have done this if it wasn't cleared with his doctor. So that means that the Achilles is looking pretty damn good. They're pretty far ahead of schedule. Maybe that's one of the things where it's like, hey, prospective teams that he's looking to sign for in free agency, look how good my Achilles is. I can do this on February 8th. Do it up, babe. That's right. It's really interesting that. So Kirk is a true free agent. The Vikings cannot tag him, and Kirk has made it very clear that he's not negotiating with the Vikings right now, or his agent isn't either, and he's adamant about getting to March and getting to open free agency and seeing what is out there. But the Vikings social channels, I mean, continue to pump out Kirk Cousins content. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because, especially after Dalvin was being cut, that basically just cut him out of all of the social campaigns. It's kind of weird, man. Also weird is Kirk Cousins' Achilles scar tissue that I wish you saw. Now, obviously, I mean, surgeries are surgeries, but that looks pretty gnarly. I don't know, man. Like, with modern medicine, you're always expecting just like a little dot, just like zzz, like what do they call it? It's not orthopedic, ortho something, but just like the little needle that you put the camera in and suture things up. But no, that one looks like, hey, let's fillet him and then we'll sew him back up. I don't know, man. I knock it down all the wood. Like, ever since Kirk popped his Achilles, actually going back to when Rodgers popped his Achilles after like 4 seconds in the Jets opener, I've been very aware of my Achilles, especially in the mornings where it's just like, is this the day? Is this the day, Elizabeth? I'm coming. Yeah. Also coming is the Hall of Fame. So Randy Gradishar, Steve McMichael, Patrick Willis, Julius Peppers, Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, and Devin Hester all getting in. Now, with the Hall of Fame is a lot like Pro Bowls. It's not about who gets in, it's about who got snubbed. And the number one snub, of course, is Jared Allen. Right? So Culinary Academy did not get in again, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of really good players that got snubbed. So Jared Allen on his 4th ballot didn't get. Now, this is what always bugs me. I feel like if a player's a Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter if it's 1st, 4th, 8th, whatever ballot. I mean, it took Chris Carter 6 tries to get into that Hall of Fame, I believe, but it's ridiculous. Like Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, Antonio Gates especially. It's rough, man. But I'm glad to see Steve McMichael get in. He's had some health issues as of late, so it's a great honor for him. Patrick Willis, maybe one of the more underrated linebackers in the game. Maybe it's held against him that he retired early, but Patrick Willis is a damn stud, man. Julius Peppers. I love Julius Peppers when he was a power forward at North Carolina. Come on, raise up. Obviously, he made the right choice. Although it bugs me that there are 3 Bears that get into the Hall of Fame. Hester's overdue, the greatest punt returner of all time. Freeney. I'm glad that Freeney got in. I always liked Dwight Freeney because Dwight Freeney was literally like 6 foot 240. And he just got it done on the edge. Andre Johnson, that's just the U being the U. Like, he should have gotten in earlier. Actually, is he first ballot? Doesn't matter. Andre Johnson is in. So there you go. Then getting into the awards. So Jim Schwartz gets the assistant coach of the year. That Cleveland defense was fantastic. And Schwartz is one of those guys where he's obviously a very good coordinator. Like I feel like any defense that he coordinates is good, but he's just not a good head coach. And maybe that's just a Lions factor, or it could be that this is his level of competency, and he shouldn't rise above it. Who knows, man? But the voting, also our guy Ari Mariov had all of these updates, so props to him. Assistant Coach of the Year voting, Schwartz got 25 of the 50 possible votes. Mike McDonald of the Ravens getting 11. Ben Johnson only got 6. Kind of surprising, considering how the media loves to gobble up anything that's the Lions. Bobby Slowick, OC of the Texans, getting 4. Todd Monken getting 3. Now, I understand that all these awards are regular season. I feel like there should be some sort of factor in with the postseason, because you should be punished in these awards if you absolutely poop the bed in crunch time, man. I don't get it. But Spags also got 1. I mean, if this included playoffs, I mean, Spags might win. But of course, who got snubbed in this? Brian Flores. How does again? Is the blacklisting, is the shunning Brian Flores legit, where he got 0 Gusay D'Angelo Russell head coaching interview requests, as well as he got 0 votes for assistant coach of the year? 0 votes, where the Vikings went from bottom of the league in terms of defense into the top 12. It's ridiculous, man. Just so stupid. Offensive rookie of the year. So C.J. Stroud is the truth, even though he missed a handful of games due to the concussion. But yeah, you can make a case for Puka. Absolutely, Puka was breaking all those rookie records, and he had a phenomenal season. But this is so lopsided. I mean, I feel like C.J. Stroud was the truth. Don't get me wrong, but this leads into the fact that, I mean, it's such a quarterback biased league. It's just ridiculous. Also, Jordan Addison can't get 1 vote. Come on. Also, how come they didn't do ranked choice voting in this one like they did with the other awards? It's kind of dumb. Anyways, something's not dumb. Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, hey, I'm just glad that Jalen Carter didn't win, because, hey, remember that basically all training camp and all at the start of the season, Jalen Carter is the greatest defensive tackle of all time. Jalen Carter did this. Jalen Carter did that. Jalen Carter blah, 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 blah. I'm just glad that Jalen Carter didn't win, because screw Philly. That's what it is, man. But Will Anderson. So big time respect to the Texans, where they got C.J. Stroud at 2, and then they maneuvered and they got their talisman on the edge in Will Anderson at 3. I mean, it was a heist. Love seeing that, man. And the rest of the voting, Carter got 4. Kobe Turner, nose tackle for the Rams. I love when nose tackles get love, man. But it was a very near-rung thing. But it eventually was Will Anderson. Spoon got 4. JPJ got 1, and Yaya Diaby, the pride of Louisville, getting some things. I think he had 7 sacks for the Bucs this year. It was really damn good. There you go. But of course, who got snubbed? Ivan Pace frickin' Jr. I mean, how does he not get a single vote? Again, I wish they went to ranked choice voting on this, but sort of is what it is in that regard. But yeah, Pace got effed. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett wins again. Awesome. It was a big day for the Browns. We'll get into that. But voting, Garrett gets 23 of the 50, as well as TJ gets 19. He was very bitter about it. But of course, you don't really blame him. Then Micah Parsons got 7. Deron Bland got 1. You'll notice who didn't get any votes. Daniil, the Real Deal Hunter. Also, Max Crosby didn't get a single freaking vote. That's ridiculous. So Daniil and Crosby were tied for most tackles for loss this season, and it's just stupid. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Myles Garrett is great. Here's what bugs me. So when people are making the case for Myles Garrett as Defensive Player of the Year, the highlight they constantly show is him blocking a field goal, which is not a defensive play. Cackle, cackle, cackle. That's what I do, man. All right, so Coach of the Year. Again, like we said, it's a big year for the Browns. Stefanski wins Coach of the Year for a second time. He also won in 2020. Now, I stand by the conspiracy theory that The Vikings were all set to elevate Kevin Stefanski to head coach if they lost in 2019 in the wildcard game against the Saints, and they would have traded Zimmer to Dallas, but they won the wildcard game, and Dallas hired Mike McCarthy, and then Stefanski got the job in Cleveland, so it is what it is. But Stefanski's put up with a lot of shenanigans from ownership, the signing of Deshaun, or the trading for and signing of Deshaun, but overall, they persevered. And offensively, they got things done with Flacco. Defensively, it's one of the best in the league. So, big-time respect to Kevin Stefanski. Love it, man. Stefanski and D'Amico actually had the same number of votes in terms of ranked choice voting, but Stefanski had one more first-place vote, so he got the tiebreaker. But, big-time respect to D'Amico Ryans. The turnaround in Houston is real, and I do think that he's got something really special going down there in Houston with Stroud and that defense. It's beautiful, man. Dan Campbell only got 3. Again, I love that Detroit got sort of shunned. Shanny got 3. Harbaugh got 2. McVay got 1. Now, this is where, this is never hey, who is the best coach? I mean, because Andy Reid got 0 votes. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey winning that. Basically, it's, hey, who's the best offensive player that's not going to win MVP? That's exactly what it is every year. So McCaffrey, Tyreek, Lamar, and CeeDee Lamb. I get one. It would be great if Lamar won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. But of course, this is the award that JJ won last season when he was an MVP finalist as well. Comeback Player of the Year. So this one's controversial. Jumping Joe Flacco wins it, and DeMar outvoted in terms of the full voting here. Flacco got 151. DeMar Hamlin got 140. Now, I feel like DeMar is such an outlier situation that the NFL should have basically just taken him out of Comeback Player of the Year, given him his own one-off award, and not to be glib, honestly, if they just call it the Heart Award, like the Heart and Hustle Award, and then just award that for someone who overcame something like this, and it doesn't even have to be a yearly thing, but like John Mechie III. Of the Texans, he literally came back from cancer. How does he not even get a single Comeback Player of the Year vote? But it was weird, and it was going to be controversial either way, because if DeMar had won, people would say oh, well, he didn't even play that much, blah blah. Dude literally came back from dying. The fact that he is even on the field, that says a lot. Flacco was just bad. A Pifty commenter had a great tweet where it's coming back from playing from the Jets is greater than death. It's crazy, man. Baker deserved a lot of credit here. Stafford come back from that injury. Tua coming back from those multiple concussions. Yes. Purdy. What did Purdy come back from? Like the playoff injury. I feel like that shouldn't even count. I love that Calvin Ridley got 3 votes. Again, DeMar died, and Calvin Ridley came back from not being able to hit a parlay. It's kind of dumb. Man. Flacco won the award. Awesome. Cool. MVP, Lamar Jackson. Again, I'm not sure how you can do it, but it should take into account the playoffs. Because it's so weird every single year where Rodgers did this a lot, where he allegedly won the NFL MVP, but he was asked thank you in the playoffs. Same thing with Lamar. I mean, Lamar fought the good fight, but it just wasn't there for Baltimore. But also, who voted for Josh Allen? And our guy, Harrison Phillips, was up for Walter Payton Man of the Year. But ultimately went to Cameron Hayward, very well deserved. So, ain't mad at that at all. So, it's fantastic there. But, again, I don't want to look. It looks like, it almost looks like an eel just slithering down into his Adidas. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. NFL honors, Hall of Fame snubs, all that good stuff. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.